news. I said I was obviously taking a break, and I'm still on break, but this is breaking news. You know, legendary wrestler, infamous wrestler, Hulk Hogan has died, and so many celebrities done died this week. But it's been a lot of celebrities die this week. This is about Hulk Hogan though. You know, it was the irony of this is Hulk Hogan. For those who don't know, today marks the 10th, the literal 10th year. That's not just from 2015 to 2025, but the exact date, the anniversary of his legendary racist rant about his daughter and black men, which is crazy because I had been hearing after the TV show Thunder. When those who go back in the days remember, there was a show called Thunder, and befittingly, I think that's a word. We're doing this in the dark, right? All black. We doing this for you, Hope. Just great blackness, because that's what I heard a wise guy once say. When you close your eyes, that's all you see anyway. Black. So I mean, I guess that's ironic when you spend your life hating black, only to spend more time seeing black in a sense because you're not conscious enough to know you're seeing black. But I think this is a lesson that could be drawn from this. That's why I decided to go live tonight because I was a big Hulk Hogan fan. Like, who wasn't a Hulk Hogan fan? Like, the first thing I could probably remember liking in life, period, was fucking Hulk Hogan. And that's crazy because when you're a little kid, well, in my era, early 90s, they had Rock'em Sock'em, which is like this freaking crazy game where these two characters duke it out and you just keep pressing the button until one of the characters, they punching each other and shit, and one of them eventually fall over. We had them little green army toys that was cheap and you can have a hell of an imagination and have your little green army men. We had Hot Wheels, but then my auntie, God bless her heart, and this shit was from the 80s, she had this big fucking Hulk Hogan doll. It was like this rubber fucking shit. It was yellow. He had yellow trunks on, and that was my favorite goddamn doll. I was like, oh shit, there was no doll, but you might well call it a doll. Fucking, that was my favorite action figure, and I didn't even know he was a real person. And so God bless my granddaddy. What's up, That's Fire? Hello, I'm just talking about Hulk Hogan infamous legacy, but I gotta tell the part of how it broke my heart to find out he was a racist because I adored the guy. Like, this was my first fucking idol I ever idolized before sports, music, anything. So I go back since Bob Batman and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Now later on in time, Lex Luger became my favorite. Mind you, I'm a wrestling fanatic. I can name all of them. So Lex Luger ended up becoming my favorite. But before he was my favorite, it was Hulk Hogan. And I even followed him all the way up into the show Thunder. They used to have a show called Thunder and shit with these speedboats and shit. And so when I first heard him go on that long racist rant, and he was nigga this, nigga that, he said it with such comfort. Like my daughter better not never date no niggas. And I'm like, damn, cuz, like, don't you know how much black... I think that be the part, and this is a lesson to be learned in this. Watch who you idolize, you feel me? Like, they always say, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think oftentimes, growing up in America, being an American, we get so influenced, both sides. White kids definitely get influenced by black people, but sometimes it works the opposite, where black kids get influenced by what we see, and this is this white super fucking hero. But fucking at the end of the day, he wasn't nobody to really fucking idolize. He wasn't no Mike Tyson. He couldn't whoop no ass. It was fixed matches, and he ain't even like to go down. Matter of fact, they have it already said in wrestling circles that he said he'll never lose his title to a black guy. So you think about the guys like Bubba Ray and all these guys who put all this junkyard dog and all these guys. It's so funny because everybody thought I was gonna kiss Hogan ass, so they came in deep ready to listen. But then it's, oh, you back? See, that's the problem, white people. Y'all gotta stop that shit. I'm exposing Hulk Hogan for being a racist. We remember him as the racist that he was instead of just celebrating a lie. Now, if we just gonna fucking goddamn play like we don't know shit, then we can celebrate the Nat Turners. Then we can celebrate Malcolm X. We can really get. I take Malcolm X Day over Martin Luther King Day, but y'all will never allow that shit. So y'all gotta stop that shit. We not finna act like Hulk Hogan wasn't no racist. He was a what do they call it? A repudiated racist. He was unapologetic. Only reason he tried to apologize because he wanted to get back in the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame. But he had no shame about it. And I was gonna post the video tonight, and I still might do it. The man said, and mind you, I voted for Trump. I talked shit about Kamala Harris. But one thing I ain't never crossed my fucking mind, the man was on stage talking about body slamming Kamala Harris, a fucking black woman, or whatever you want to call her, woman. What the fuck? What they do that at? That's so disrespectful, bro. And it goes on and on and on. And matter of fact, I'm going to just call out Ric Flair real quick, because Ric Flair is beloved in the hood and all that. Ric Flair was in Amigos videos and all that shit. I done did my little Ric Flair dance and all that. But Ric Flair's a fucking racist. Ric Flair told, what's his name? He said, you'll never be a champion, boy. I could pull up that promo. Well, he told him. He said, he called to make sure. He said, boy, he said, you will never be a champion, and you know why. This is Ric Flair. And so, and then I'm looking at old Gene from back in the day. Gene, whatever the fuck Gene there. Y'all remember Gene. Gene up there talking crazy. I was like, wait a minute, dog. I couldn't even go down a rabbit hole no more, because I'm finding out, mind you, I was a super big wrestling fan. Still is. Looking like I love the nostalgia of the fucking 90s. And don't let me find out Mankind was no fucking race. That's my dog, man. All his characters. Dude Love, all Cactus Jack, all that shit, man. I go ECW on your boy Taz, fucking what's the buddy name who wear them Aladdin pants and shit? Sabu, you did. Why does this have 22 living people watching a black screen? Because fuck nigga, you can't be me. Dick sucker not fall back. You watching it. Why do you spend your time to comment on this shit? Cause you watching it. That's why they watching it, dumbass. Only difference is you feel so outraged you had to say something, and you still gonna stand here and wait till they leave to leave out, fuck boy. That's why. Yeah. So anyway, point is, this shit was real fucking sad, because I'm like, yo, man, the man went outside. It's like, is look at this dumbass. I'm not even gonna play cadence to you, fam, and you still in here. You helping the ratings. That's what you don't know. You're right, I'm not tough. I'm sitting in my house. What are you doing? In your mama basement, fuck boy. So back to my point. It was just sad that you find out these people. I'm not gonna let the legacy of Hulk Hogan be remembered. What's up, Lou Ranchers? That's what I'm saying. Love is more powerful than these suckers you did. But I'm not gonna let his legacy be that of a guy that was somebody to be remembered. If you want to remember somebody, look into their background. Who you idolize people that actually do great causes. You feel me? People that feed the poor, people that give their time to the community and upbuild people. Because a lot of these guys got PR agents. You did what I'm saying? Like, that's in every aspect. Every athlete, every entertainer, they got PR guys to try to dress it up, to make it look like it is what it is. Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan, man. For you just coming in, I said that I started off liking Hulk Hogan like everybody else. You feel me? Like, I was part of the Hulkamania and all that shit. And then I realized his character as I became a teenager, actually, early on in life. And once I realized his character was bigger than the rest of that. You feel me? And I'm sorry for buddy who in here who want to see me. I don't know why. Matter of fact, can somebody teach me how to kick somebody out my room? I usually let people stay in, but I just want to kick this particular guy because he really just like want to be here to fucking antagonize me, which mean he lame as fuck. You feel me? Like, let me see. Oh, I could quiet him right now. Let me start to put using the timeout. 24 hours. All right, buddy. Shut your fucking mouth now, cocksucker. So anyway, like ultimately, Hogan, like I said, man, we all loved him at some point, but then at a certain point, we all got to be forgiving of each other. But how many times we got to forgive you when you just don't like us? Ain't that sad? Like when you try your best to love a person and embrace a person, and you try to overlook shit. You might have heard this rumor or that rumor, and you say, nah. But then in reality, just like Ric Flair, like, it's like Ric Flair, we all love Ric Flair. Ric Flair had swag. Woo! shit like that. You feel me? Like one of my other favorite wrestlers was Diamond Dallas Page. You feel me? Like Diamond Dallas Page, he throw the diamond in the air and say bang. I like when then the Generation X used to say suck it and shit, do the little X and shit. I remember when 1 2 3 Kid was 1 2 3 Kid, then changed that to 6, and then he went from 6 to X part. All these different things you did. So that was like something for me and shit like that. And the reality of it is, man, I saw a post for Hogan, and one comment said he couldn't put anyone over, bro. Listen, and that's funny that you said he couldn't put no one over, because you hear so many times, not just black guys, but Hogan refused to take the fall for guys. Like, he did not want to give up his championship. He'd rather get disqualified or some shit like that. And that's a sore loser, because when you think about what the wrestling community is, you feel me? Hello, mortals, I have arrived. What it is, man. You think about, now y'all finna make me cut the light on now that I got that chump out of here. You feel me? Like, I was in the dark because I just didn't want to get up and really make nothing big out of it, but I'm seeing it's getting a lot of traction. So, fuck it. Alright, man. So the point I'm making is, man, I was a Hope fan, bro. I was a real Hope fan, believed in that whole movement. But the reality is, we gotta celebrate people that really respect us and care for us. You feel me? Like, I can't get down with nobody that hate me. You feel me? I can't make a person like me. That's in real life, and that's in dealing with celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make nobody like you. Either somebody cool with you or they not. Either they are racist or they not. You feel me? It's like, and that's the crazy part too. Sometimes you gotta change up and you gotta pivot, meaning that you might, let's say, for instance, right? My channel's still growing. It's at 4,800. It's almost like voting. When people vote, it might start off like a presidential election or whatever. It might start off, this candidate is up 20,000 votes, and it look like it's swaying that way. But by the end of the race, they might lose by 1,000,000 votes. I say that to say my channel went 4,800. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. I heard that he has complications from the neck surgery. He was in a coma. Let me see. Yeah, right, you're right though. Me mate sound just. You're right back. For sure. And so my point is this, bro. I don't know what my audience is yet, but one thing for sure is I make sure I try to show respect to those who, like, some, now don't get me wrong, some clowns that come in, like this one guy was hanging around in the room and shit, just to try to be down and say some goofy shit. I don't do all that antagonistic shit. I communicate to it to a certain degree, but when I see a person just trying to like bully me, especially online, I say, you know what, let me just go ahead and get them out of here. You did. I say that only because I would not let that deter me to start saying, man, fuck all y'all crackers and this is that. Nah, because guess what? I might have all kind of fans. I don't even know my base. You did what I'm saying, and you have been alienated your base because you feeling some kind of internal problem that you got to fix. And I think what Hogan failed to realize, his base was everybody. Don't get me wrong, little white kids. To me, he was like the Michael Jackson at one point of wrestling. But what he didn't realize, it was so many kids out the hood, the ghetto, poverty, black. And they loved him. And he continually said, fuck y'all niggas. And at some point, that's why right now, bro, if he never did none of this shit have hit me like when Kobe died. Like, I think about, that's like probably two people death that hit me hard in life that wasn't related to me was Tupac and Kobe. And I never forget where I was at, never forget those days for as long as I fucking live. This would have been one of those days. I would have been like, fucking Hogan, and God bless the dead, Theo Huxtable just died, Malcolm Jamal Warner, but his impact wasn't what Hogan impact was for me coming up, loving, being a big fan of wrestling. So this shit would have hit me. But all I could think about tonight was when I heard it, because I'm seeing shit in the news populating with Hogan. I said, well, what's going on? And the first thing populated to my head was, damn, I remember him going on that rant. So I went looking for it, right? I went looking for that rant, and they done screwed it from the internet. But what I start coming across was new racist shit, and more. It's like I'm looking for one thing. I'm looking for one incident, and it's multiple times. And he was unapologetic. And so it made me think about the hypocrisy of us as a country, meaning that we won't celebrate no black guy saying crack cracker. So why we gonna celebrate a white guy saying nigga, nigga, nigga? You feel me? Like we gotta be even across the board. You feel me? Like he's not worth celebration. He's worth being honored by his family because he still have a family. But as far as him getting like shit named after him or bitches showing like this nobility, there's nothing noble about him. If we really gonna tell it, most wrestlers die sad. They be on pain. They be on opioids from the pain. I don't know if y'all ever seen that wonderful movie called The Wrestler, I believe it's called. And Buddy was like fucking on opioids like a bitch because they go through all this pain and shit. But my point is, and most wrestlers are from West Coast Florida, like Macho Man from Sarasota, you did. And so Hogan lived in Tampa, Florida. I believe the show Thunder took place in Tampa. So I got family in Tampa, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, all that. So it's like these places is wrestling heavens. But at the end of the day, bro, we don't endorse that. We endorse the new people like John Cena's of the world. I ain't heard no controversies, and y'all gotta catch me up on that. The younger crowd will have to catch me up on that. But we can embrace a John Cena. We can embrace a Batista. Matter of fact, who a hell of an actor. All these guys that came later, maybe he set the groundwork for them guys. Even the Undertaker. Undertaker had this biker persona, but I don't hear no crazy things about the Undertaker. And when I see his interviews and shit, and how like beloved he is, I say to myself, damn, because I was everybody who wasn't an Undertaker fan, but when Kane came out, I was more of a Kane fan. Matter of fact, since we're talking wrestling, my favorite character out of all wrestling, I'm talking about character, not just like as far as they wrestle. My favorite character was a guy named Raven, and that was WCW. And he used to be with some guys called, I think they was called the Oddballs or something like that. And he'll come sit in the corner of the ring and shit. And then he'll just act like he's non-interested. And then he'll be like, Raven, nevermore. And then like, even with WCW versus NWO, that was the fucking rawest game when that shit came out in Nintendo 64. We used to play that all day like GoldenEye. And I wrestled with all dude on the Flock. That's what the name of his group was. It was called the Flock. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm always, and then shout out to Jimmy Lawler. Jimmy Lawler is what made wrestling. That bitch was the greatest commentator of any sports. He was funny as hell. He was wrestling was pretty much male chauvinist, but he said what he said. He did what he did. He was funny as fuck. Him and all in all, bro, I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna carry it on too long because, like I said, I really wasn't even doing no videos. I just wanted to say that as far as Hulk Hogan, bro, I don't want him to be remembered as a guy that wasn't a racist. He was a racist. Now, if you could get over him being a racist, then you could freaking say you just like racists. You cool with racists. And if you cool with racists, I have no issue with that. But when the shoe is on the other foot, don't get mad if it's some black guy and then you say, oh my God, look, he said this and this and that and that and this. No. Because we don't get to celebrate what y'all, first of all, I don't even want to bring that up, but we don't get to celebrate guys that is pro-black. We don't get to celebrate Geronimo Pratt. Y'all ain't never even fucking heard of it. You could be like, who the hell is Geronimo Pratt? You feel me? So we don't get to celebrate our guys. You know what I'm saying? They say Jay Uso, Ric Flair, Florida too. Listen, every popular wrestler that was ever big, either from Canada, Florida, or somewhere northeast, like New York, Boston, or some shit like that. But that's what Jersey and all that shit. Undertaker's best friend is the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Godfather was the coolest. And then another dude was Brown, when D-Lo Brown come out like this, that bitch come out and shake his head like this. Like, that was fun. Like, man, I mean, like, I remember, I like to be the first one to say, because when The Rock first came out, and he called himself Rocky Maivia, right? That was his name. He was with the Nation of Domination, you feel me? I started dressing like, that's why I say in certain songs, dressing like The Rock in 97. Because The Rock dress code in 1997 is only two dress